Hey everyone, and welcome back to the AI Tech channel. Today, we're diving into a cybersecurity nightmare that should have all of us checking our digital defenses. Imagine this. You download what seems like a harmless AI tool, and 5 months later, you discover it's given hackers complete access to your computer and, worse, your entire 1Password database. Sounds like a movie plot, right? Well, unfortunately, this just happened to a real engineer, and it's a wake-up call for all of us. Could this happen to you? That's the question we're tackling today, because the answer might be scarier than you think. Let's break down the story. Matthew Van Andel, an engineer in Southern California, downloaded a free AI tool back in February. Unbeknownst to him, this tool contained an infostealer, granting attackers full access to his system. These attackers claimed affiliation with an anti-AI activist group targeting his employer, the Walt Disney Company. Through this access, they compromised his 1Password account, gaining access to his passwords and session cookies. This isn't just about stolen credentials. It's about a complete digital takeover. The hackers then leaked over a terabyte of Disney's internal Slack communications, a staggering 44 million messages, containing sensitive customer data, employee passport numbers, and financial information. It's a massive breach with far-reaching consequences. And it all started with a seemingly harmless download. Now, let's dive deeper into what this means for your own security. The Wall Street Journal article highlighted that Van Andel used 1Password to store his two-factor authentication keys, but hadn't enabled 2FA for 1Password itself. This leads to the question, was his choice of password manager partly to blame? The short answer is no, not really. The core issue here wasn't a flaw in 1Password security, but rather the fact that the attackers had unrestricted access to his entire computer for 5 months. A keylogger could have captured every credential he typed, and they could have easily exported an unencrypted copy of his 1Password database once it was unlocked. The real culprit here is the malware, plain and simple. This highlights a critical point about digital security. Even the best tools are useless if your system is compromised at a fundamental level. The attackers also stole session cookies, which allowed them to access accounts remotely as authenticated users. This is likely how they compromised Disney's Slack communications. Even phishing-resistant 2FA wouldn't have prevented this, because they weren't trying to break in. They were already in, masquerading as him. This is a sophisticated attack that goes beyond simple password theft. It's about exploiting trusted sessions and gaining unauthorized access through legitimate means. The fact that they didn't need to crack 1Password's encryption demonstrates the effectiveness of the password manager itself, but it also underscores the importance of preventing malware from taking root in the first place. Think of it like this. Your front door might be locked with a high-security deadbolt, but if someone has a key to your back door, the deadbolt doesn't matter. The root cause of this entire disaster was the untrusted software Van Andel downloaded. This is a classic example of how a single mistake can have catastrophic consequences. The damage could have been minimized if the takeover had been detected earlier, but it went unnoticed for months. Once the hackers realized they had access to a high-value target, a Disney engineer, it was game over. It's also important to note that this breach occurred on his personal device, which had access to Disney Slack channels. His work device, thankfully, remained untouched. This highlights the importance of corporate security protocols that prevent users from installing arbitrary software on company machines. This isn't just paranoia, it's a necessary precaution. And it's a reminder that we should all be extremely cautious about what we install on our personal devices as well. Remember, a free tool might come with a very expensive price tag. This incident has made me rethink my own online security settings, particularly for accounts protected by two-factor authentication. While I'm comfortable using my password manager for generating one-time passcodes for many accounts, I'm now more inclined to use separate authentication devices or passkeys tied to my PC's biometrics for high-value credentials like my primary email, bank accounts, and authentication services. It's an extra layer of security that provides peace of mind. And speaking of 2FA, I've always had it enabled for 1Password, using a Yubico hardware key and a separate authenticator device as secondary factors. As 1Password's developers emphasize, storing authentication codes for your 1Password account within 1Password itself is like putting the key to a safe inside the safe itself. It defeats the purpose. Every online security decision involves trade-offs. Password managers allow us to create strong, unique passwords for every site, synced across multiple devices. This is simply impossible to do manually. Securing the password database with a strong password and two-factor authentication is essential, but it's not a silver bullet. We need to be vigilant about the software we install and the websites we visit. Think of it as a layered defense: password manager, strong passwords, 2FA, and, most importantly, common sense. And if your corporate IT department sometimes seems overly cautious, maybe they're just trying to avoid a nightmare scenario of their own. They're not trying to make your life difficult. They're trying to protect the company, and you, from serious harm. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Finding your personal information online can be unsettling, and Google is now making it easier to remove it from search results. They've streamlined their Results About You tool, allowing you to request removal directly from Google Search. This is a significant improvement, as the previous method was buried deep within settings. Now, when you find your phone number, address, or email in search results, you can click the three dots next to the result and choose Remove Result. You'll be presented with options, including, it shows my personal information and I don't want it here. Selecting this sends the page to Google for review, and if it violates their policy, it will be removed, sometimes in minutes. The original site will still exist, but most online directory sites have options to request information removal. This is crucial, as this information is increasingly used in scams. The process is surprisingly simple and fast. I tested it myself, searching for my name, finding a site listing my information, and submitting a removal request. Google confirmed my request via email and approved it within minutes. They explained that the URL would no longer be visible when people search for my name. The three-dot menu also allows you to report illegal content like phishing, violence, or explicit material, and to refresh outdated search results. This is a welcome addition, giving users more control over their online presence. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a step in the right direction. Google is also enhancing proactive monitoring through the Results About You hub. By signing in with your Google account, you can receive notifications when your personal information appears online. This allows you to take immediate action to remove it. Previously, the sign-up page and the page showing where your information was found were in separate locations, making the process cumbersome. This unified approach makes it easier to stay informed and protect your privacy. Think of it as a digital early warning system, alerting you to potential threats before they escalate. It's not foolproof, but it's a valuable tool in the fight for online privacy. Now, let's talk about enterprise security. NordLayer, the company behind NordVPN, is releasing a new web browser specifically for businesses. The key focus is on enhanced security measures and greater control. This browser combines Zero Trust Network Access, ZTNA, and Secure Web Gateway, SWG, for a unified solution, emphasizing data loss prevention and support for business growth. Security is paramount for businesses, and without robust solutions, companies are vulnerable to constant cyber threats. Browser developers are increasingly focusing on security, as a secure browser is essential in today's threat landscape. According to NordLayer's managing director, Donatas Taimlis, the browser has become a critical gateway for both productivity and security. The new browser will enable CISOs and security teams to control security settings, manage network access, and monitor user activity without disrupting workflows. It aims to address emerging cybersecurity challenges stemming from the shift to web-based SaaS applications, BYOD policies, phishing attacks, malware infiltration, unauthorized data sharing, and dangerous file transfer vulnerabilities. The browser will offer centralized security control, giving security teams greater visibility and management capabilities. While the NordLayer browser isn't yet available, you can sign up for the waitlist to stay informed. The pricing is currently unknown. This is a significant development in enterprise security, offering a comprehensive solution for protecting sensitive data and preventing breaches. Finally, let's discuss the vulnerability of rewards programs. Recent data breaches at Marriott Bonvoy and IHG One Rewards, along with the Equifax hack, highlight the risks associated with loyalty programs. Even Clint Henderson, a managing editor at TPG, had his A-Advantage account hacked, resulting in the theft of over 300,000 miles. Protecting your information in these programs is more critical than ever. So how do you do it? TPG spoke with cybersecurity expert Baman Hayat, who has worked for IBM and Microsoft, for advice on keeping our data safe. Hayat emphasizes that data breaches are becoming increasingly common due to poor cybersecurity and negligence. He suggests assuming that we have already been affected and expecting to be affected again. While giving out our information exposes us to risk, joining rewards programs is often unavoidable. So, what can we do to protect ourselves? First, avoid giving out sensitive information unless absolutely necessary. Your date of birth, passport number, and even your address can put you at risk. If you must provide this information, ensure the website offers two-factor authentication. If not, request that they implement it. Second, enable two-factor authentication for your loyalty accounts. This adds an extra layer of security, requiring 2 verification forms before granting access. This makes it much harder for unauthorized individuals to gain access, as they need both your password and the second factor. This proactive approach is crucial in preventing unauthorized transactions or misuse of your points and miles. While text-based authentication is common, Hayat advises against it due to its vulnerability to SIM swap attacks. He recommends using authenticator apps like Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator. For even greater security, consider using a YubiKey. Third, regularly check "Have I been pawned?" to see if your information has been leaked in a data breach. If your account has been compromised, immediately change your passwords and start using a password manager and multi-factor authentication. This is like damage control after a fire. You need to assess the extent of the damage and take steps to prevent it from spreading. Fourth, use a password manager. Experts recommend creating unique passwords for each account, which is difficult to manage manually. A password manager securely stores all your login credentials in one place, allowing you to have strong and unique passwords for every service. This protects you against credential stuffing, where attackers use leaked credentials to access your accounts on other services. Hayat recommends 1Password as a reputable and secure option. Fifth, monitor your credit report annually to ensure there are no discrepancies. If a hacker maxes out your credit card in your name, you'll see it on your credit report. Consider freezing your credit to prevent anyone from accessing your credit information or opening new accounts. This is like putting a lock on your financial data, preventing unauthorized access. Finally, petition loyalty programs to prioritize security. Many companies are not investing enough in cybersecurity. We must demand that they implement necessary security measures, such as proper password hashing and salting. Contact loyalty programs and banks that haven't implemented 2-factor authentication and request that they do so. We are responsible for our data, and if we're handing it over to a third party, we must ensure it remains safe. Ask your loyalty program how they are protecting you against a breach. The more we demand security, the more likely companies are to prioritize it. Remember, your voice matters. Speak up and protect your digital life. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? Cybersecurity isn't just a technical problem, it's a human problem. We need to be vigilant, informed, and proactive in protecting our digital lives. From avoiding untrusted software to enabling 2FA and demanding better security from the companies we trust, every step counts. Don't wait until you become the next victim. Take action today. What security measures do you have in place? Share your thoughts and tips in the comments below. Let's learn from each other and create a more secure digital world. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more tech news and security tips. Stay safe out there.